We're going to dive into Unit 1 today, which is all about setting the foundation, setting your path for success, succeeding with money, winning at your, financial management. So hopefully everybody stopped in and was able to get those notes packets for Unit 1. If you haven't, please make sure that you're stopping in and getting those notes. I'll have new packets for each unit. So as we're starting in on Unit 1, please stop by to get those. All right. But for today, we're going to head into Unit 1. As we talked about before, okay, when you go from Schoology into your unit folders, you'll see the objectives and standards at the top, breakdown for a folder for each standard within that unit, some review materials, and then assessment and remediation materials. Today, we're going into the first standard, so that's in our 1.1. All right, at the top of the page, you'll see the proficiency scale so that you know exactly what's expected of you, what you'll need to know and understand and demonstrate to score at the various levels of our proficiency scale. All right, so I'm not trying to hide that from you. As I've said, I want you to do as well as possible. And so that is there so that you can always refer back to that so you know exactly what's expected of you. All right. Today, what I'm going to have you do is go through this first presentation. It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? This is just kind of a general framework for some stats, some data about who millionaires are and what they've done to get there. Right. I think there's sometimes a misunderstanding or kind of a myth that millionaires are only they only inherited their wealth, or they are kind of that rare breed of exceptional athlete or musician, or they have some kind of unique talent. And the truth is that anybody truly could be a millionaire. All right. And so this goes through and it looks at what kinds of background they have, what kind of education they have, what kind of parental education they were exposed to, and I think you'll see that anybody can win with money. All right, if you are disciplined enough and if you want it enough, anybody can win with money. And so this presentation kind of walks through that. It's very short. There's no notes that go along with it. It is just for your background and to get you started. All right. Then what I'll have you do is go through this presentation, and this is where your notes begin. All right. So 1.1 is all about developing those financial goals. If on the Schoology page, if this isn't appearing for you correctly, you should be able to just go through, and when you click next slide, then you can just click within that window. All right, and you can see these come up. All right, as you go through these presentations, okay, one thing that I would suggest not doing is just going next slide, next slide, next slide, because there may be some things where graphics are above or below text and you can't always see it. And so let me go back here. Once you get this started, okay, clicking within the window brings up individual animations. And so that can help you kind of pace the presentation and the information, but it also can ensure that you're seeing everything that you need to see. Once you click in here and get going, you can also use the arrow keys on your keyboard and just click the left or right arrow to either go back or go forward, animation by animation. In other words, line by line versus entire slide by entire slide. Okay. If this isn't showing up for you correctly, there is a link below that you can click that'll go directly to the OneDrive folder. All right. This comes up in a full slide view, but again, it won't always display correctly. For example, if I go to slide 15, right, there's some animations here that are covered up and hidden because it's just showing everything on that slide all at once. So when you are, and for example, slide 14 doesn't show you what will appear here, right? And so you end up missing some things if you're just looking at it at the full screen view. And so if you want to make it full screen and you first have it here, then you'll need to make sure to click the present button. And now it'll go through automatically, animation by animation, line by line. Here was that slide. I said you wouldn't see some of it in the in just like the slide view, right? Because there's some animation, there's some additional text that shows up behind there. This was another one that I said if you just looked at the slide view, you wouldn't see everything, right? This moves over, this pops up. There's other information here that you wouldn't necessarily see if you're just looking at the slide view here or the slide view here and so on. All right, so make sure that you go, if you needed to click that link right below here to open it up, or if you click this open a new window. Okay, it's the same thing. Make sure that you click present so that you can see the full slide in its entirety. All right, get that out of here. Um, so what I'd like you to do is go through this again. There's no notes that accompany it, but then go through this presentation. This is all about developing financial goals with an emphasis on what are called SMART goals. All right, SMART is an acronym. An acronym is simply a word or a phrase in which each letter stands for some other word or phrase. All right, and so the acronym SMART is kind of a checklist for characteristics of a goal that leads to success. All right, and as you'll see here, that the acronym S stands for something, M stands for something, and so on. So in SMART, S is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable or achievable, R is relevant, and T is timely. All right, and so what those mean and how you apply it to the goal, that's a lot of what this talks about. So this is all about establishing goals, establishing your habits, recognizing needs from wants. It gets into a little bit about tracking your spending through a spending log and creating a budget. Those are all habits that we'll talk more about as we go through this class. All right, but this is just laying some of that foundation. So what I'd like you to do is go through those two presentations, but go through this one a little bit slower so you can complete the notes outline that accompanies it. Okay, as you're going through, if you've taken a look at the notes outline, you'll notice that a lot of it is kind of fill in the blank, where there are partial sentences that are there and you need to fill in the missing words. Please do not just click through this and search for the missing word just to fill in the blank on your notes outlines. All right, you won't get a lot out of it. Slow yourself down, take some time, actually read the sentences on your notes, read the sentences in the presentation so that you can start to actually think about what it is, process it, internalize it, and so on. If all you do is go through and you're hunting for the words that are missing in the blanks, okay, you're not going to get much out of this. All right. So go through this presentation. It starts out with money habits, and then it talks about some habits that successful individuals have. All right. So you'll want to spend some time there. There is, let me get to it in a couple of slides. There's a video here that's from a TED Talk. I'm not going to play it for you over Teams, but it's a short 5-6 minute video that relates back to the topic that those particular slides are talking about. So make sure that you do watch this in the entirety. It's pretty entertaining and pretty fun. If you are in the school while you're watching this, okay, please be respectful of those around you. Put on some earbuds or headphones or something so you're not distracting others. Obviously, if you're in a personal space, if you're at home, if you're at somewhere else, do whatever you need to. But if you're somewhere where there are other individuals around you, just be mindful and respectful of their space. All right. So I'd like you to go through that presentation. Again, it's not super long, but then there is one worksheet that I'd like you to complete when you're done with those notes. This is 1.1 SMART Goals worksheet. I'm going to open this up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so when you click on that assignment, all right, there's some instructions here, and then a link to a Google Doc. So you'll click that, it'll open up in a new tab, make a copy. All right, once this copy is created, first thing is rename it and take out the copy of, and then put your name at the front. So for me, it would be Henry, and then Personal Finance 1.1 SMART Goals. Okay. After you go through the presentation, you'll learn a little bit about, again, what that acronym of SMART is. Okay. It acts as a checklist for the components of a goal that is most likely to lead to success. All right. And so you can see that there's a reminder of what that acronym is and what each letter stands for, and a description or explanation of what that is. Then there's an example here where a goal is broken down into all 5 components, and then it's rewritten as a complete goal in 1 or 2 sentences. All right. And so as the instruction says, you're going to write 2 SMART goals. One should be money related. The other should be more personal related. So a money related might be, I'm going to save money so I can purchase this this certain item by this date, right? Those are relatively easy to figure out. The personal goals would be anything that's not necessarily money related. So maybe it is, maybe you've got a goal for the grade that you want to get in this class, or the grades that you get throughout the quarter. Maybe it's something, an athletic performance. I want to be a better free throw shooter. I want to run the 100 in under this time frame, right? I want to increase my bench press, or whatever it is, right? Maybe it's I want to get a job for the summer. I want whatever. All right. So just not something where I'm saving this money or I'm going to earn this money for this item. All right. And so you'll break down each goal into the 5 components and then rewrite it in a 1 or 2 sentence framework. Okay. Now, when you open up this worksheet, you'll notice that it defaults into a full page view. I don't know about you, but for me, that's somewhat hard to read. All right. And so you'll want to zoom in on it. If you just click down here on the document and then on your keyboard, hold down Control and plus, you can zoom in, Control and minus zooms out. So you can adjust that as needed. Okay. You can also come up here into this zoom and automatically select a zoom level that works for you. All right. You can also, in the view, there's also some zoom things that you can do, but they make it really easy with that zoom right here if you would like it. Or like I said, on your keyboard, Control plus or Control minus zooms in and out. All right. As you're going through this, anywhere that you see these shaded gray boxes, click on those. Those are areas that you can type in. All right. And so you can type directly. Once you select that box, start typing. So up here, I could start typing and the information will be right there. All right. When you're done, though, okay, do not share this Google Doc with me. What happens is it generates a share code and it generates an email, but almost always those emails go into my junk folder and I never see them. All right. And so in order to turn this into Schoology, okay, and I wish this would get out of here. Down. Okay. In order to turn this in, you'll see that there is an image here that kind of walks you through what you'll need to do. So you'll need to turn it in as a PDF. All right. And in order to do that, you'll click on File, then download as a PDF. So once I am done with this, okay, I'll go to File, download as a PDF. It'll likely just download directly into your downloads folder on your computer. And then from here, my view is a little bit different because I've got the teacher view, but over here you'll have a button in which you can hand in your assignment. You'll click on that, attach your PDF document, and then submit that. All right. As you can see here, it's due tomorrow before the start of class. And so just get that done at some point during the day. All right. So not a whole lot to get through, just walking through those two presentations and then this practice writing 2 SMART goals. Tomorrow we'll cover some examples of some SMART goals. I'll read over some of your submissions. We'll go through some of them together. I'll talk about what works with some of them, where some of them may be falling a little bit short. Okay. And then we'll have some chances to write some new SMART goals after having discussed a little bit more together. All right. So that's what you need to get done. 1.1, walk through the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on your own, go through the developing financial goals and complete the notes outlined with it, and then complete the SMART goals worksheet. All right. As always, reach out to me if you're running into any problems, if you have any questions or issues. Okay. Reach out to me through email, through Teams, through Schoology. Otherwise, the time is yours to get that done, and we will talk tomorrow. All right. See you, everybody.